Smaller your circles, especially those who are now in their 40s and 50s, the smaller your circles, the better you're gonna feel. You're gonna realize that the things that you used to be part of, you don't really need them. All you need is to look after the things that really matter to you, and then the rest, you have the choice. But like I said, if it's affecting you to continue on to run around and chase, to be part of a church, to be part of a social community, if doing all of that for the sake is because it's part of the culture and it's not good for you, why you are keep on doing that? Why do you have to do that? Hello my friends, it's me Sandy from Edrienia Extrasensory, and I hope you are having a good day. Myself, I'm well from here, and I'm still in Dunedin, and the weather today, we are getting colder here in Dunedin, and now I'm in South Dunedin. That is where my work location is. And today, this morning, I'm going to talk about the mental health issues that quite a lot of men are facing today. And especially, I'm coming from the Pacific Islands context. Like for myself, I'm coming from Tonga. I'm a Tongan, but for the past 9 years, I've been living with my family here in New Zealand. And yeah, I'm now on my morning walking, normal walking, as part of my daily discipline for wellness and also for mental health. And today I'm going to share with you the mental health issues, especially from a Pacific perspective, and my experience throughout the years in working in different sectors, also in academia. I've been there for many years, and like myself, I've hold a PhD in Pacific Studies, and I've been enrolled with different works with communities, including more than 20 years in church ministries. And all of those experiences, I have come across and seen how much mental health has affected many lives of our men, and for many years now it has taken away a lot of young boys and men by committing suicide in their life. And with that, I'm going to share with you my perspective on how those things need to be addressed, especially the mental health issues, because mental health and how it affects many of the men, it's a silent killer, not only in the Pacific, but even here in New Zealand. And for those of you who have seen how much throughout the years many people have only affected their lives, but we have seen how much the suicide rate has increased throughout the years. And with that, I'm just going to talk about this and how many of our men are affected by this bigger issue. But mental health issues, it's very, very hard to address and talk about it, especially in the Pacific Island cultures, where men are seen as leaders, they are seen as providers, they are seen as protectors, and expected to be strong at all times. They are expected to be tough and all of that. And having that kind of culture and attaching to the Pacific Island religious beliefs, especially Christianity, a lot of men, it's very hard for them to talk about their mental issues. It's very hard for them to open up about it and seek help. And like I said, this has become a big problem, regardless of which country these Pacific Island men are staying. It's very hard for them to deal with these issues, although they are suffering from it. And there comes a time in their lives they cannot see no further, they lose hope, and so they ended up taking their own lives. And not only that, if they are married men, they're suffering from mental issues also affects their family, affects the circles they are part of, affects their productivity in their jobs, affect how they relate to others. And for for those reasons, I want to talk about my experience and how to deal with it, with mental issues. And like for myself, coming from the Pacific Island houses, there's a lot of demands and expectations that you have to live with, apart from raising a family and looking after a family and to provide and all of that. There are other different groups in the community that you are part of, whether they are churches, they are sports clubs, all those different groups, and they expect you to be part of it and to contribute. And there are a lot of men who are suffering from that because one of the big issues with and problems with men from the Pacific, it's very hard for them to say no. Very, very hard for them to say no. And for that reason, they are, most of the time, they are just suffering in silence and just continue on what they are doing. And when it's out of hand and out of control, some have decided the only way out is to take their own life, and sometimes they are affected with other health issues. But it's all because of keeping those things to themselves without finding ways, healthy ways, how to deal with it. And it's also related to some other causes, like diseases, some other diseases because of that, like cancers and all that. But it's important for men, if you are Pacific Island men watching this video, it's important that that you allow time for you to look after yourself, for self-care and for your overall well-being. And one of the practices I have done throughout the years, as I grow much older, as you all know, for us men, when we come to our 30s and 40s, our energy, our physical body is not as it used to be, like in our 20s. And it's important that we cut down, downsize the circles that we are part of, the activities that we used to be part of, in order to allow time to look after ourselves, to eat well, to sleep, to look after our spirituality. And this is my experience throughout the years, because I myself also suffered from mental health issues, including depression. And there were a number of times in my life I was having suicidal thoughts and all of that. But this is one of the practices that has saved my life, is that as I grow much older, I downsize, I cut down the circles that I'm part of, the things that I've been involved in, I cut it down as I can. And this is my experience. The smaller your circles, the smaller the activities and commitment you are part of, the better you're gonna feel. You feel much better because you will have time to look after yourself, and you find time to do the things that you like doing. Because if you keep on with trying to please the crowd, trying to please the groups that you are engaged with and being part of, you're gonna lose yourself. It's gonna affect your mental health. And like I said, as we grow older, we don't have the energy and the physicality that we used to have, and that will add more problems to you. So my advice to you is that you prioritize what you are doing, focus only on a number of things, those ones that it's a must to you, like providing for your family, your work. Those are the priorities, and everything else you cut it down, downsize your group involvement. It's going to be hard because like the Pacific government, they find it really hard not to be part or connect with a community. But what's the point of doing all of that and that you are suffering? Because when you are sick, when you are affected mentally, nobody, it's hard to find somebody to journey with you during that time. So if you prioritize your life and put your life first, and making sure you are really looking after yourself and your mental health issues, that will really help you. Like I said, the smaller your circles, especially those who are now in their 40s and 50s, the smaller your circles, the better you're gonna feel. You're gonna realize that the things that you used to be part of, you don't really need them. All you need is to look after the things that really matter to you, and then the rest, you have the choice. But like I said, if it's affecting you to continue on to, to run around and chase to be part of a church, to be part of a social community. If doing all of that for the sake is because it's part of the culture and it's not good for you, why you are keep on doing that? Why do you have to do that? And some of the reasons some of the men have shared with me, they said it's because it's very hard because it's culture. Bear in mind, culture and religious belief is a man-made thing. It was constructed. It wasn't born with you. So it means that you have the choice. You have the choice to do it or not. And when your health, as they say, health is wealth, you prioritize your health, then everything else in your life starting to fall into place. And I can tell you, you're gonna feel much better when you do that yourself. So with that, my friends, I'm just gonna share that part for the time being, for now. But we're gonna continue on to share more about the mental health issues on another video, and let's say a number of videos later. But with that, my friends, I wish you all the best today. Take care of yourself, looking after your family, and do the best that you can. Au revoir.